Let's see if this works. And we'll get rid of Emma Smith, and then hopefully you can at least see it on that side. Those windows open.
Yeah.
Cold, isn't it? Close them if you want. Close them.
I actually think I can read. So.
Alright. If anybody wants to close them, that would be good. Okay. So we've just been looking at the mark scheme together. Competent is our baseline, but we want to move it up into good. Tell me, you've got into the exam, you've done your section 8, and then you see that question. You see that question. Right, what do you do next? You don't smack your head off the desk, Ben.
Okay.
You can't phone a friend.
No, we don't have the text.
You do, that's section 8. What are you going to do with this? This is, the focus is on AO5. Which word in that question is the trigger for AO5? Only. For Orsino, love is only about performance. So we're starting to think, well, is it only that, or is it about something else? Adam, what's your gut response to that? Yes or no?
I'd probably say no, because, well, like, throughout he's kind of, like, he's the one who's shows like, the most passion towards it.
But is it real, or is he just performing passion?
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's helpful. So in terms of love, thinking about passion, does he exhibit any true and genuine love throughout the play? Go on, Amelia.
I don't think he does. I think he more likes the idea of appearing that he's what's it called? Like drawn to other people, admiring him. He prefers that.
Right. So he's quite egotistical. He likes the idea of love. Okay, keep going. Just tell me a little bit more about Orsino and love. Rhiannon?
You can argue against that by saying in Act 5 when he, I can't remember the exact quote, but he's talking about Cesario and saying this land I dearly love, or something like that. I don't know the exact quote.
Right, so one of the things that we might want to consider are his feelings towards Olivia and then Cesario. And we might want to look at Act 5 in order to do that. There's definitely something going on there.
This isn't the High Fancy's Queen or something.
That's that, but at that point, it's not Cesario, it's Viola. So does he speak, or does he act differently than when Viola's identity is revealed?
No. He still calls her boy and stuff, doesn't he?
Right, so, still calls her boy, but he does say my fancy's queen, calls her his mistress.
Or is it like your master's mistress has become your mistress's master or something? Do you know the quote I'm on?
Yeah, I do. So just like Rebecca was saying, well, is this student doing like AO2 in this essay? Can you see now, Rebecca, how it's like, it's our Bex, sorry, I don't know why I called you Rebecca. When have I ever called you that? She's like looking around. Who's that? Like, is that your naughty girl name? Bex. We're starting to just use those quotations, aren't we, to underpin our ideas. Ethan?
I was thinking with the whole Olivia and Cesario thing like that. But with Olivia, it's like, it is managing his like performance for love. It's like, he's never met her, he's only seen her from afar, he's only seen like paintings of her, like literally the Shakespearean version of Henry VIII and Adam Cleese. Like, he's only seen from afar, he's only seen photos, and then comparing it to when he's actually met with Cesario, like
off.
Were you on Twitter?
Yes, he was.
I wasn't actually. You clicked on a tab when I opened it. The other tab was looking up something on a different thing.
You weren't doing your work?
No, that is
right
true.
then.
But I wasn't trolling Twitter then.
Okay. So it's performative because it can't be based on real love because he's not even met her.
And then throughout the whole of the play, when it's even melodramatic really going on, like just sat
Because-
moping the whole.
Because what kind of lover is he?
Can't.
Courtly lover or Petrarchan? Petrarchan's more helpful.
Cheap. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Are Petrarchan and courtly lovers real?
Nah.
Where are they from?
Classical literature.
From literature, aren't they? From ballads and that. They're not real. So what does that tell us then?
He's aspiring to be something that doesn't exist.
Right, okay. And again, it's about performance then. It's like he's been given a manual of how he's meant to act as a lover by reading poetry, etc. and gone, right, this is how I'm going to act.
Is there any way you can link that to like meta theatre?
Go on.
Like I don't know how far this can go, but like the ideas of like are you a comic and stuff like that. The idea of Shakespeare being self-referential about it. I don't know whether how much authorial intent you put in these questions.
Well, it's difficult because we don't know. Because we just don't know anything really about Shakespeare.
Yeah.
What evidence is there that he was aware of what he was doing in this play? What does Fabian say?
Oh, I was doing this last night.
What does Fabian say about the play? Scarlett?
Wasn't it, if it was played in front of me, I would condemn it as improbable fiction?
Yeah, if I were watching this on the stage, I would condemn it as improbable fiction, something like that. It is a very self-referential joke. Whether Shakespeare knew he was being all meta-theatrical or not is a question for another day. But what is he doing then? Why does he open his comedy with a Petrarchan lover? What does it say about like the function of Orsino? What's Shakespeare doing? Josh, any thoughts? Are you writing all of this down? Good lad. Is he asking us to take Orsino seriously? If he opens his comedy like this? He's not, is he? So, if we're going to go, whether we go with yes, he is, or no, he isn't, the thing that we always need to engage with is why. Write that down. Always write that down for me. Is he a Petrarchan? Is his love always just performative? If it is, why is it? And if it isn't, why isn't it? Without that, you don't get into a good sense of debate. You will end up just describing to me where he is performative and where he isn't. But I already know that because I've read the play quite a few times. So if he does open the play with this Petrarchan lover, so we're all, I'm sure, agreed that we could write about Act 1, Scene 1 here. Yes? So let's revise the 3 Act 1, Scene 1s we've seen. We've seen the Tim Carroll production, we've seen the Simon Godwin, and we've seen the RSC.
We've also seen we watched the Trevor Nunn one.
Which one's that?
The crazy one. The one where they're on the
Oh,
ship.
right.
Is that the one on the cruise ship?
That's not Trevor Nunn.
That's right, isn't it?
Tim Rice.
Yeah.
Is it Tim? I've
The
got-
ones with all the cross, like the loads of cross dressing.
Yeah,
that's not
so
Trevor Nunn.
right.
Oh, sorry. was
That's
that
Rice.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Well, let's just.
Which one was Trevor Nunn? Just to jog on.
That's the film, isn't it? With.
Oh,
Helena Bonham
Bonham
Carter.
Carter.
Right.
Sorry, yeah.
But let's just revise these 3 for now. Let's revise these 3. Right. You ready? Okay. So do these 3? Do the openings of these, or do the productions of Act 1, Scene 1 in these 3 productions support or challenge the idea that his love is performative? Should we do one at a time, Rhiannon?
I think it's. Oh, have we got the National Theatre?
That's the Simon Godwin one.
Oh, okay. Isn't it the one where he's got the flowers and the teddy bear for her and he's like outside of his
Yeah.
door?
So that one definitely does, right? So this is how you can actively revise your AO5 to go in to your essays. He's got the teddy bear, he's got the flowers, and he's down on bended knee, literally outside of the house. That needs to go in the bin. Right. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not genuine. I guess that's something. Can you be performative and genuine? Possibly. Does that not make any better? Right, what about Tim Carroll or the RSC?
Is it the RSC one where he's like, it's the smaller stage and he's lying on the...
He's not lying at first.
He's like lounging.
No, he's not. What's he doing?
He's painting.
He's painting.
Oh, and then he
And
gets...
then- So does that support Freya that he's performing?
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? You know, he's got the guy modelling for him and it's all, it's so melodramatic,
And
right?
he's also got the pianist on the stage.
He has, yeah. Because all of this is about music as well, isn't it? What about Tim Carroll? That's the Stephen Fry one.
Kind of comes out and picks the leaves as he's walking out and
Yeah.
kind of sits on his knees. He's not too over the top.
No, it's a bit more subdued, isn't it? But again, I don't expect you to write about all 3 productions for this point. You don't have to write about one. But we're just revising them now so that we get used to using them. So, let's go back. We still haven't answered the question about why Shakespeare opens this comedy with a Petrarchan lover. Archie, any thoughts?
I guess he could kind of show that, well, he kind of established from the start that not all love could be genuine.
Yes.
So
What are we encouraged to feel towards Orsino?
he kind of demands sympathy, but it's not really, you don't really feel you're trying to give it to him.
Right. So that's the whole point, isn't it? That you'd think you were supposed to feel sorry for him, but it's so over the top that actually it's like Shakespeare's mocking. He's mocking those conventions of courtly, of Petrarchan love, because they are not real. They are part of a literary tradition. Right? So let's put that as one of our ideas. I'm going to wipe some stuff off the board now. If anyone wants to take a picture of it, or have you just been making notes? Ethan, have you written all of this down?
And you wouldn't mention how some productions start with the shipwreck scene.
You wouldn't need to, because this question is just about Orsino,
Right, okay.
and we don't want you in 37 minutes being diverted from that.
If I got off, I'll just linking onto the performance bit. When he's like doing the whole performance of Love for Olivia sort of thing, he's always got an audience, even if it's only just Cesario, there's always someone there to perform for. But then when he's like, at the end, when Act 5, with like Olivia, Cesario, or Viola at this point, and Sebastian and all that, it's more genuine because he's not showing off, he's genuinely just, that's how he's feeling.
I think your idea could be right. I think your evidence might be a bit flawed, because you said that before that he's always got an audience, whereas he doesn't. He never woos Olivia. He sends Cesario.
I mean, like, to shut the English, to see his melodrama, so he's got the musician playing, like, watching him playing. He's got the person he's painting, he's also got an audience to see him being this melodramatic.
Right, I see. Oh, so I think it's when he said when he's wooing it, but like the effects of him being in love with her. He likes people to see how upset he is. Right, okay, I think that works. Where was I going with this? Right, let's take that off. So yes, because Shakespeare encourages us to mock the hyperbolic actions of the courtly lover, Petrarchan lover, as they are not based on reality. Okay. Have we got any more ideas? Have we got another yes or have we got a no? So when he's not performing, why isn't he? Or where is that? Where might we see him just being genuine?
You could argue from a Shakespearean point of view that, like from the time period, that with Antonio and if they were saying that Antonio Sebastian's love was,
This is a question about Orsino.
I know, but you could say that when they fall into their places at the end, when he's genuinely in love with Viola. Oh no, I'm getting confused at the end.
Yeah, it just don't deviate. But we could definitely talk about the ending
Yeah.
in relation to this. But I think we need to go. I think there's evidence before this in the play of him being perhaps more genuine. Freya,
In Act 2, Scene 4,
tell me about that.
when, because the RSC production has them like physically kissing.
Yes. If you're listening now into this lesson and you're saying, how does Freya know it's Act 2, Scene 4? How does she, that's on you to learn it as well, just to know that that's the scene where it happens. If you can't remember it in the exam, then you're going to have to fudge around that a little bit. And sometimes I forget, I'm like, is it Act 3, Scene 2 or 3? Right? But I'd make sure I've learned them before I go in. Ethan?
Just quickly, is that the scene where he's talking to Cesario?
Where Orsino's talking to Cesario.
I'm trying to think of the exact quote of what he hears if she's like he's quitting him.
Yes.
Yeah, that scene, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's exactly that. He's trying to give Cesario advice about not falling in love with an older woman. So, where are we going next? Do we want to stick with that? Is there any other example of where he's being genuine?
I was just thinking that, and the very end is where he's only genuine there because he's acting more on impulse and what he thinks should happen with all the literature. So he's going on an impulse more than.
I'd say that was still
emotion.
performative, though. I'd say he's still performing. It's when he stops performing. I guess my central argument is that he stops performing when he starts being genuine. Freya?
I think even in Act 1, Scene 4, it's not necessarily romantically, but there's definitely something genuine between him and Cesario, like they're the secret soul.
Right, because what are they doing? What?
I don't know.
Did you say conversing?
Yeah.
Yes, they're talking. But I like your word, conversing. Because what happens when people converse in this play? Who else falls in love through conversation? Olivia falls in love with Cesario through the way that he uses language to woo her. Because that is more real than just playing music and buying flowers. It's actually getting to know somebody's mind. And how do we know Viola has a good mind? Who's told us that? Sebastian. She had a mind that envy but could call fair. So we know that she's really clever as well. So if we've got, what do you think about that as a central argument? That he only stops performing in moments of kind of genuine or real love? It would work, wouldn't it, to be pulled through? Scarlett, your thoughts?
What would you be able could you say something about in Act 5, Scene 1 where he starts getting angry?
Right,
You
yeah.
should say that's out of love, but it's not a good performance.
Yes. So, when he becomes violent in 5-1, that's where, those conventions of comedy are challenged again, aren't they? So what are the differences here, again, between, I'll be consistent, the Simon Godwin and the Tim Carroll, in terms of that violence?
There's only Jory Sword in one of them.
He does. So in the Tim Carroll one, he draws his sword. It's a little bit scary. Rhiannon?
I think it's the National First one, but isn't that where he? Oh, in one of them he takes Cesario like hostage.
Yeah, which one's that? That's not the
I
National
think
Theatre
it's
one, is
the
it?
Carroll one. I think because it mentions it in the Marvel one, so I think it's the.
Oh, I'll need to double check.
I thought it was in the Godwin one, wasn't it? Didn't he not grab hold of her at some point? And then she's like, fuck, and then he like flings us aside. Oh,
I don't think she says that though, do you?
No.
I've watched the Simon Godwin one quite recently, and that's not ringing a bell for me. Because in the Simon Godwin, are we scared of him in the Simon Godwin one?
I think he always comes across quite childish.
Yeah, quite immature. And so then when Viola says, "I will go with you," it's more a sense of, "I need you to calm down." She's not scared to go, but she's like, "Yes." It's almost like, "Yes, all right, you can kill me, it's fine." But I don't think, you don't get the sense that she thinks he actually will. And there are two important lines in that bit, aren't there? He says, "What would I do if I had the heart to do it?" So first it's like, I don't think I have. And then why does he do it? Why does he become violent? What's that kind of based on?
Jealousy.
Yes. And how does he know that that's how jealous lovers act?
So that's how the ballads have told.
Because he's read about it where? What's the story? Murder what I love, like to the Egyptian thief. So he references a story that he knows. So again, it's like he doesn't know about love from real life, he knows about it from stories. Right? In a kind of, if I can't have you, nobody else can moment. People have stopped writing stuff down. Archie, you all right? Are you with us? Ben, are you with us?
Yeah.
Right, all right then, keep making some notes. I seem to have loads of notes. I don't see other people having as many as me, which concerns me greatly. Ethan?
Does he actually mention the Egyptian thief, or is that the
Nope, he does.
notes? Alright, I was just thinking, because I was just thinking with the Cordy Love sort of thing, it would be more like the actual like Cordy Love stories, like the Arthurian ones.
Yeah, but it's this one, definitely. Okay. Right.
What happens in the Egyptian faith?
So it's the story of somebody who has captured a woman, and rather than have her taken from him, will kill her.
Oh, right.
It's like a whole kind of honour killing thing. It's very messed up.
Does he kill her?
In the Egyptian thief story?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he does. Yeah, I was going to say it, do you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've read the end of his play,
yeah,
right?
I've read the end of his play,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to find out soon.
Can you a counterpoint to him being genuine there is the fact that he speaks in verse while doing it? Or is that too much AO2?
Yeah, I wouldn't, for this,
Okay.
it's much more about how it's being presented. Have we got any critics, any quotes about Orsino or love from critics that would help us with this? Rhiannon?
Sophie Duncan, when she talks about his change in language, could you use that, or is that a bit?
Well, tell me how if it will link with this.
I guess it's just changing attitudes to love throughout, like between Cesario and Olivia.
So tell us, what is it? What specifically happens to that change in language?
Especially at the end where he's talking throughout the play he always talks of Olivia really nicely, and then when they actually have a discussion, he calls her uncivil or something.
Yeah, so he goes from saying, "Now heaven walks on earth," to calling her an uncivil lady, the marble-breasted tyrant.
And a raven.
Yeah. So that language does change. I'm just, like Ben was saying there about the verse thing, you'd have to secure it to, and like, how does that link with what we're discussing about performance? Are you saying the language of his performance changes?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right, okay. I think that could work. Any other AO5 about love and Orsino?
There's one. Sorry.
Go on, no, go on.
Was it Sophie Dawkins who was agreeing that Orsino was more in love with the idea of love than love itself? Does she actually say that?
I think she does, but I think she's quoting somebody else. Freya?
Is it Summers that says that? No, it's not. But he says he's bound by his mask.
Bound by his mask.
Yes, that could be
Right, lovely.
Isn't the one where it says about Orsino and Olivia that they're kind of like, it says they're in love with themselves, that they're so self-obsessed that the rest of the world they're lost or something?
So it's sounding like AO5, Orsino and Love, needs a little bit of brushing up on. Yes, we're kind of hedging around stuff. He's in love with the idea of love. There's definitely stuff, there are definitely quotations about him being egotistical.
There's one, I don't know how it links to performance, but there's one where it's like, it's about Orsino and Olivia, it's like Orsino and Olivia are sick of self-love, so they're less in the world. Something like that.
Right.
Oh, that was Super.
Yeah.
Right. So transposing that idea of Malvolio onto the two other characters. I don't know how far I agree with that with Viola, but Orsino definitely. Okay, there's quite a lot going on that board. It's 25 to. I'm going to stop recording in a minute. What I would like you to do are two things now. One is, I want you to, you've probably written a lot of notes, but does it look like an essay plan? You know, if you get a question in the exam that's about love or about Orsino, could you now produce a kind of simpler plan that you could think in the exam, oh yeah, we did that, we did it just before Christmas when Julie had that green blouse on and we were having those, you know what I mean? Like you could kind of cast your mind back to go, yeah, we were talking about that. Then I want you to do a bit more AO5 critics. So there's stuff on Google Classroom, or you could go to, oh man, what's that website with the, no, it's like the postcards, the
Quizlet.
Quizlet. There's loads of stuff on there. Then I want you to write an introduction. So that's three things. Plan, AO5, introduction. You've got 35 minutes to do that in, please.
I want a grid plan. Or,
Yeah, however it works for you.